Hi everyone, it's now the 6th week of the spring 2020 semester. And this week we are going to start a whole new era in British literature. So for the last 5 weeks we've been looking at the Romantic era, and we've looked at some of the heavyweights that wrote in that time. This week we start with a brand new book, which is this Victorian Age book, and we look at the Victorian Age of British literature history. And we're going to open it up with a man, Alfred Lord Tennyson, who really you cannot truly look at British literature history and look at the Victorian age and not think of Tennyson, because he wrote for many, many years during that time. In fact, at some point, he ended up becoming the poet laureate of England, and that's a very important title back in those years. I mean, nobody knows who the poet laureate of England or America is today, but back then, the poet laureate really set the tone and set the rules, if you will, for how poetry was written. Now, what Tennyson liked to do was he liked to take old stories and make them new again in certain ways. So, for this week's two readings, you've got The Lady of Shalott, which is about a minor character in the King Arthur legend who ends up dying once she takes a look at Sir Lancelot. And this is kind of a metaphor for a young girl losing her innocence because of the fact that she's attracted to a man. And then you've got the other one, which is Ulysses, which extends the whole Odyssey legend. So if you remember in the Odyssey, Ulysses took 20 years to get home because he was imprisoned by Circe on her island for a little while his men had been turned to pigs. And then he went on many different other adventures, like against the Cyclops and against the Hydra and the Whirlpool and the Lotus Eaters and many other things. And what Alfred Lord Tennyson does here is he says, hey, what if he gets home and he's not satisfied being home? He's too much of an adventurer. He can't be a homebody anymore. So this is written from Ulysses' point of view after he has returned to Ithaca, which is his home island, and he decides, you know what? I'm just going to turn this over to my son, Telemachus, and I'm going to go out on more adventures. And so he does some dramatic monologue where he's speaking to his soldiers. So this week, Alfred Lord Tennyson, I think you're going to enjoy the way that he kind of plays with mythology a little bit and makes it his own. And I look forward to seeing what your results are in the quiz and in your reader responses.